8.7 is solving inequalities by adding and subtracting. Very similar to solving equations. Only difference is inequalities, we have comparing symbols are greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Versus an equation would have that equal sign. So you'll still take the same steps in order to solve. It's just that you're dealing with an inequality here. First, well, here's our key concept. It kind of gives us an example here, algebraically and numerically. Basically, when you add or subtract the same number from each side of an inequality, the inequality will remain true. So our first example, we have negative 21 is greater than or equal to d minus 8. Much like an equation here, your inequality symbol is what separates the left and right side, that greater than or equal to. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that down right away, greater than or equal to. It's kind of like when you solve the equation, you drop the equal sign down. Now you're dropping an inequality sign down. Goal is still the same. You need to get the variable by itself. Right now, here's the side with that variable. And we have d minus 8. Well, in order to get d alone, we need to add 8 to both sides. And notice how I did it to both sides. That's why you bring that inequality sign down, showing you that there's two separate sides. So add 8 to both sides, we get negative 13 is greater than or equal to d. Example 2, b minus 12 is greater than 4. Again, drop the inequality sign down. We need to get b by itself, and in order to do that, that says minus 12, so I will add 12 to both sides. That inequality determines sides, distinguishes the two sides. So we're dropping b down, 12s cancel out, inequality sign drops down, and we have 4 plus 12 is 16. 3, y plus 5 is greater than 11. Drop down that inequality sign. I'm going to go ahead and get y alone. In order to do that, I need to subtract by 5 on both sides. Y will drop down. 5's cancel out. Inequality moves down. 11 take away 5 is 6. So y is greater than 6. Example 4, I want you to go ahead, pause the video right now, go ahead and work through it and solve for g. Alright, now that we're back here, here's the side, the right side has g, so we are going to go ahead and subtract by 13 on both sides. 9 take away 13 is negative 4, which is less than or equal to g, which slides down. Home stretch here, question number 5, last one, paragraph here. It says write and solve inequalities. It says Billy took $12 to the bowling alley. Shoe rental cost $3.75. What is the most he could spend on games and snacks? Write and solve the inequality. So we need to write it and solve it. Well, here's some key information. We know that he took 12 bucks. Okay? So he has $12. I like to write things out in words and then eventually write that equation. Well, with that $12, we know that he has to have $3.75 for shoes. So $3.75 is part of his bill. We want to know what is the most that he could spend on games and snacks, right? So we have $3.75 for his shoe rental plus his games and snacks. Okay, now we need to figure out in here what is that inequality basically. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this equation here. We have inequality 75 plus the games and snacks. We want to know how much he can spend on games and snacks. Well, that's unknown. That is x. And then we have $12 over here. Now, we know that he has 12 bucks. So he can spend $12. If he can spend $12, it can be equal to. The cost can be equal to. So now we need to determine, is it the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to? If this is the amount of money he spends over here on the left side, this amount that he spends cannot be greater than the amount he has. So if this amount on the left side here can't be greater than, it would have to be less than. So less than or equal to. It's kind of how the thought process you should take in order to solve the equation. Kind of talk yourself through, what does the left side mean and the right side mean? Well, the left side is determining how much money we can spend. Well, you only have 12 bucks, so you can't spend any more than that. So here would be part of our answer, our written inequality. Second part of it says you need to go ahead and solve it. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this inequality here. In order to do that, I'm going to go and I'm going to do it below my answer here. I have it circled, indicating that's one of the answers. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 375 from this side to get x alone. So minus 375. And this would be our solved inequality. 375s would cancel. X would drop down, so we have x is less than or equal to $8.25. So that is the second part of our answer. There's one, there's the second part, writing and solving. 12 take away 375. This concludes 8-7, solving addition and subtraction inequalities.